Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, it's the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston, and I am here with a kind-hearted woman named Sarah, who's actually one of our coach trainees and a client and an all-around nice lady. How are you, Sarah?
I'm delighted to be here.
Delighted to have you. We were talking, and you said that you really wanted the full experience of being a full-session client, and I said, well, why don't we do a podcast then? And you said, hey, Glenn, okay.
Yep.
And I know you had a couple of issues that you wanted to bring up. Where would you like to focus?
I feel really good about the parameters of my food plan, what's on my food plan and what's not on my food plan. I definitely feel like I'm in a fine-tuning phase, and I could see benefiting from some parameters around snacking and eating between meals.
Okay. So let's go over what the food plan is now.
Sure.
And tell me where you're getting into trouble, and we'll speculate about that. Okay. So what's your food plan now?
I will never again eat meat. I will never again eat dairy. I will never again eat flour. I have one exception to that, and that is if it happens to come in a meal delivery kit and my husband has picked that meal, because we share those. That's our dinner. I will never again eat sugar. Again, I have some exceptions or some parameters of that, which is that I do allow myself whole fruit, dried fruit, honey, syrup, and coconut sugar.
What kind of syrup?
Maple, like 100% pure maple syrup.
Okay.
And I will never again drink alcohol. That's the food plan.
Okay, so you got a bunch of nevers with a couple of conditionals.
Yeah.
No meat, dairy, or flour unless it's in a meal delivery kit that your husband picked. Nothing sweet except for whole fruit, dried fruit, honey, maple syrup, or coconut sugar, and no alcohol.
That's correct.
Okay. How are you doing on the food plan so far? What have the results been?
I'm doing really well. The results on the scale, I'm very satisfied with them. But for me, what's bigger is the results off the scale. The scale moves slowly, but it sort of reinforces that like I'm sort of doing it the right way. It was moving really fast. That might be satisfying, but having it move in the right direction, but slowly makes me feel like it's not a diet, it's who I am now.
You're not going to throw yourself into famine mode, which is not sustainable.
Exactly.
Get over-restricted and then bounce back the other way.
Right. I'm off that cycle. I'm still on a productive path. And the results off the scale is what gives me the confidence and the assurity to know that the right road is the longer road, kind of, but not really. But I have what it takes to see it through.
I love that. Tell me about your non-scale victories. What are you observing off the scale that's giving you that confidence?
I would say a general sense of confidence overall from accomplishing these goals, starting with the one rule and adding on and continuing to be successful in the definition of not binging, and having that kind of snowball a bit into the realm of exercise, which is not something that I'm inherently attracted to doing. But I kind of try to claim this identity of being a healthy person. So what would a healthy person do? And so a healthy person would be more active. And so that's who I am. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's pretty adorable.
Yeah, right? I try to live an adorable life. It's so much more attractive to the people around me, which is another like huge non-scale victory. Presence with family, kids. My emotional and mental health is much more positive and stable. I'm by no means the one that carries this burden the most in my family, but bipolar runs in our family, pretty big mood swings, and I just feel level. I don't really feel like that. I'm caught in that cycle.
I got to tell you something. I can't make this an official statement because I'm not savvy with all the research on it. I have a friend, and his business is helping the families of bipolar supporters. So if there's a bipolar patient in the family, if someone's diagnosed, he helps them to figure out how to even out. And the thing he has the most success with is if he can even out their diet and exercise. If he can get them off of these sugar and stimulant and alcohol roller coasters, if you can get them exercising regularly, get them having enough sleep, they're much more level, fewer episodes. It makes a difference. It really does make a difference.
Everything I've read too, my sister was recently diagnosed. She's definitely has the most severe experiences, and I've done a lot of research because I'd love to support her and understand what she's going through. And everything that I've read also supports those lifestyle changes can go a long way. I've certainly felt it in my own life.
We're meant to move and eat vegetables. It's just how it is.
Apparently your mom was right. You're supposed to eat your vegetables and get out and play.
Right. It's just how it is. Okay, so you're having those non-scale victories. Anything else?
Yeah, probably, but those are the biggest. My relationships and my mental health and my confidence and energy level. And I'm having, honest to goodness, so much more fun with my food.
Yeah?
My palate, it's like light pollution and you can't see the stars. And all that junk is the light pollution. And if you're able to get out away from that, then the multitude of stars is such a better view, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Food's that way. Like once you kind of detox and you give your palate time to change, the flavor variety, it goes beyond salt and fat and sugar, right? That you get in a box. The variety of spices and the fruits and the vegetables and the combination of them.
It's bliss.
It's like, what was I doing? Like, what was even attractive about that before? I mean, I know what was. It can seem easy and convenient, and there's advertising and there's all kinds of things that pull you when you're sort of not paying attention. But when you're able to get far enough away, you sort of realize that there's so much more.
You're not overstimulated, so you can see the stars.
Yeah.
That's a really good analogy.
It's worth driving out into the country for that view. So it's worth taking the time to get away from the junk.
Get away from the bags and the boxes and containers so that you can taste the subtleties of flavors in real food.
Yeah.
People don't believe me, and that's why I say it's not necessary that you believe me. It's only necessary that you try it. Okay, good enough. You were saying that you're struggling with snacking and volume between meals?
Yeah, like a mindfulness. I just kind of thought it might be wise to have some parameters so that I'm not accidentally eating. Now, what I eat between meals is on plan. But again, I had this light bulb moment during a seminar you did or a webinar about not being addicted to necessarily a food type or group or category, but to impulsive eating itself. And so as far as eating between meals, again, I don't want to get into anything depriving, but I kind of want to check and balance there that the reason behind eating is hunger as opposed to emotional or bored or like I just happen to walk by it, so I'll just grab one. I just kind of thought, well, it might be good to just institute some tiny hurdle.
Talk to me about what you've considered as those tiny hurdles.
Okay, so if I have a thought about eating between meals, then I could potentially think about what I wanted to eat and maybe get it kind of ready to some extent. Like maybe if it's an apple, I put the apple on the cutting board, but then I don't eat it for 30 minutes or 10 minutes or some delay. Or I drink 16 ounces of water before I eat anything just to make sure it's not thirst or fatigue. Actually, that's kind of it off the top of my head.
Okay, you want to have a delay mechanism.
It seems like a good idea. Yeah.
A lot of people do that. The delay mechanism could be that you have to prepare the food and put it in Tupperware or something for 30 minutes before you eat it.
Exactly.
Or maybe you have to take a picture of the food and wait until the timestamp on that picture is aged for 30 minutes before you can eat it.
Right.
And the third idea you had,
Drinking 16 ounces
okay.
of water.
So let's play around with some language for rules. So maybe we would say, I'll never eat between meals again without first preparing my snack and letting it age for 30 minutes, like a good wine, right?
That's right.
Let it age for 30 minutes in its fully prepared state. That could be as simple as cutting up an apple, putting it in a piece of Tupperware, and letting it sit out in the sink for 30 minutes. Okay, whatever it is.
Those dried sugar snap pea things, like putting just whatever portion like in a bowl and then leaving it there for 30 minutes, or a small amount of nuts and leaving it there, which would also help me not eat out of the bag, by the way. So this might be a two birds, one stone situation.
So what if, I'll read it back again. I'll never eat between meals again without fully preparing the snack and letting it age for 30 minutes in its fully prepared state. And I'll always drink 16 ounces of water before I eat it. Do you want to put them both together like that?
Okay.
Is that too much?
No, it's not.
Take a breath, because I don't want to, in my excitement, put something in your mind.
I know, right? No, I feel good about it. I feel like if it gets tricky, then I have a process for reevaluating and changing it. I could potentially go down to 8 ounces or something like that. I'm okay to start just like that.
I'll never eat between meals again without first preparing my snack and letting it age for 30 minutes in its fully prepared state. And I will always drink 16 ounces of water while I wait to eat my snack.
Yeah, because all those things too, I mean, they won't go to waste. Something like nuts or something else isn't going to go bad, and an apple could be dessert after dinner if I decide to not use it as a snack. So that sounds good to me.
You're allowed to decide not to have it after you prepare it.
Right. I have an old don't waste food thing in my head sometimes, and so it's good for me to go, hey, there's no potential here for wasted food. You don't need to worry about that.
Very good. Okay. How do we know when it's between meals? Do you eat 3 meals a day?
La la la. I
like when you say la la la.
Oh dear.
You're the only client I've ever had to answer the question with la la la.
I know what a meal is. I've never really struggled with that, although I don't know how to define it for someone else. I don't really have what other people might consider breakfast. It's green juice is what I end up having for breakfast. So I'm not totally fasting and not having anything, but I drink it. So breakfast is always my green juice, 16 ounces of green juice.
Are you struggling at all with nighttime eating, by the way?
I'm not.
Okay, no problem.
We have dinner 6 o'clock. It's not that late. And then I almost always have whole fruit after. And I don't know, that seems to work for me as dessert mentally. And then I'm just done. It's not a temptation to eat after dinner.
Okay, good. So some people will say that a meal is 1 hour from the first calorie to the last.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
It does. I mean, I eat in a lot less time than that, so that's just fine.
Okay. And most people will say that there are at least 2 hours between meals. That's from the last calorie of the last meal to the first calorie of the next one.
Oh, definitely. Yes. Okay.
So that's how you define a meal. You put that in your definition section, and then that's how you know when it's between meals. That's how you know when the between meals rule applies.
Gotcha.
Okay. What's this going to do for you? If you think about what life is going to be like in a year in 2 different paths, one is if you just do what you're doing now, and one is if you insert these delay mechanisms in the way that we phrase the rule. What's going to be different in a year that you'll accomplish that you wouldn't have accomplished doing what you're doing now, or 5 years?
Let's see. I feel like my conquering of cravings and dominion over impulsive eating will be a lot more cemented. I don't know the effect it will have on weight.
So you'd be more confident that it was permanent, it would be cemented in place. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I would know that I'm still not just a slave to seeing food and wanting it. I walk through the kitchen and there's fruit and fruit's on my plate, so I'll have some. The delay will just make sure that I'm not even binging on food on my plan or binging on quote unquote healthy food. And they might calorie-wise have a small impact on my diet, but as far as who's in control in my brain, I think that's where the difference will be.
With a thoroughly conquered emotional eating.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been making intellectual choices about all the important food decisions.
Right. Like, this is black belt.
Okay. You would be a badass.
Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Why do you want to be a badass? What's good about that?
I can't imagine, and I certainly haven't experienced anything beyond this issue in my life that has been so cancerous. And there's no small amount that I want to keep around. Like, I want it eradicated because it's divisive and pervasive, and there's just no area of my life untouched. I want all that back. The pig can't have it. I gave it to the pig for way too long, and I can't undo any of that, but I can use it as motivation for getting serious and being ruthless.
Because, Sarah, it's been the bane of your existence, right?
Exactly.
For decades.
Yeah, Achilles heel. And it makes me feel like a fraud in relationships when I want to have authority in anything. I feel like it's hard for me to buy it from my own self when I feel like such a failure in this one area.
So when you know that you can keep promises to yourself,
Right.
and you know you have the integrity to walk the walk and not just talk the talk, then you feel like you're the master of your own destiny and you can do anything.
And I can, yes.
Yeah.
If I can do this, I can do anything.
I understand. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Maybe even public speaking, like it's that big of a deal. Like I might even be confident enough to stand in front of people about it.
The pig was my worst enemy. It sapped my confidence entirely. It felt like not having a life. It felt like I was the pig slave and like I didn't really have a life. I had all these talents and abilities, but they were crushed under all these bags and boxes and containers. And until I decided to eradicate the pig's impulsive eating and make rational decisions about all my critical food areas, I just wasn't there. Where was Glenn? I don't know. So I totally understand that. No one understands that more than me.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to eradicate the cancer.
Right.
That's the big deal. And we're going to let Sarah shine.
Without boundaries, without inhibition. Yeah, exactly.
That's what you mean you could do public speaking.
Yeah. That's something a lot of people are afraid of. It's just a lot of people kind of get nerves about that. But this is that big of a deal that you figure this out, you conquer this, you get dominion over this, and like literally you can take on the world. Whatever that thing is that seems too scary to even try, it doesn't anymore.
I'm totally with you.
Good.
I'm 100% with you on that. Okay. What happens if you don't do this, if you let the pig have these little bites and licks and tastes? I think someone calls them BLTs, I forget who.
That's cute. Yeah.
I didn't make it up. I think it comes from some other program. You have all these bites and licks and tastes between meals. What happens if you just let that go on for a couple of years?
I know that we don't always like to say that history defines our future, but if that's any indication, it'll just grow. Mm-hmm. The little bite won't be so little, and the one piece of fruit will become fruit and peanut butter. And I could see, again, eating almost a meal-sized portion in between meals, maybe even if it's not that much, but just having it be kind of heavy. And then that starts taking away from other things I want to do with my time and my energy. And if I don't have clear boundaries, then my thoughts again start to drift towards food fantasies. So it might be lunch, but if I'm sitting there at lunch, I mean, I could already be thinking about what that snack might be in an hour. I don't want that. I want my brain back. I want my thoughts back. I would be plagued again with those food obsessive thoughts and food planning, less balance too, because, you know, as you sort of meal plan or you think about meals, if the snacks get bigger and bigger, then the meals overall start to get out of balance as far as fruits versus vegetables or whole grains or whatever.
Yep.
Everything doesn't match up the same.
I'm totally with you. Okay. So now we could talk to your pig. Why does your pig say that you're going to have to eat between meals and you're going to have to eat without giving it the full preparation and 30-minute delay and 16 ounces of water?
I'm hungry. The pig says I'm going to be
You're going to be too hungry.
Yeah. And the pig also says that's too constraining for the other busy elements of my day. Like I may be between activities or appointments or getting ready to be away from the house, whatnot. And that delay won't work with the other juggling of the day, the activities.
Okay. What else?
That food will be wasted.
And that's intolerable.
I don't love it. No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm getting over it, but the pig knows me,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay. What else? I'm writing them down.
Yes, the pig says that it's high maintenance. It's like too involved. It'll be dirty dishes and a lot of prep work. And if I'm going to all that trouble to make myself a snack, then it really doesn't matter if I wait 30 minutes. I'm going to end up eating it because it's there. So I might as well just eat it without all these hoops. Like it's empty, like it's an empty process. So why bother?
Okay, what else?
I don't hear anything else right now.
Let's look at these 4 squeals
Yes.
and assume that there's a kernel of truth but a bigger lie within them.
Yes.
And help me find the lie, okay?
Yes.
When the pig says, you're going to be way too hungry to execute this plan, therefore you might as well binge right now. Where's the problem with that? Therefore you might as well eat whenever you want to between meals without a delay.
There's pretty big differences between hunger, true hunger, and starvation. And a 30-minute gap between hunger and true hunger, it doesn't close the gap. I'm not doing any unhealthy behavior by waiting 30 minutes.
They're not going to find your bones right by
No.
that cut up apple on the apple board.
Right. Let's face it, folks. We wait longer than 30 minutes at the fast food drive-thru. So
Right.
or sometimes or the restaurant, and we're perfectly content to wait.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's too constraining. You've got too many other busy elements in your day. You won't be able to execute this. Therefore, you might as well just eat when you want to between meals without the delay.
I think maybe the pig forgot that I could take food with me and still choose not to eat it. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't thinking about that, but that's probably what I would do is if I was sort of between things and I thought, well, I'm hungry right now and I'm headed out the door and I need it now because in 30 minutes I won't be home. I could just take it with me and still wait for the 30-minute mark and then decide whether or not to have it.
This will lead to intolerable food waste. Therefore, you have to eat between meals without waiting.
To that pig, I say better to waste than waste. The first waste being better to have something end up not used than to go to my waistline.
Oh,
So it's a play on words that works way better on paper than audio.
okay. Better to waste than waste.
Yes.
Okay, better to waste than to my waste. That's what.
Right.
That's what, okay,
Yes,
that's what you're saying.
exactly.
I love that. Okay.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks.
No. I do
Okay.
like a good play on words. So of everything I've sort of read or thought about or come up with for food going to the trash, that's my favorite.
My guess is you'll wind up minimally wasting food anyway, given your psychology.
Me too. Yeah.
You'll figure out what to do with the apple and the Tupperware.
Yeah.
Okay. Pig says this is high maintenance. It's too much work to sustain it. If you're going to go through all this trouble, you might as well just eat it now. So it's really an empty process. Why bother?
Right.
Let's just binge. Let's just eat between meals. What's the problem with that?
For it being high maintenance, as the head dishwasher in the house, that's kind of what I think of is like if I ate the nuts straight from the bag or even just took a handful, like portioned it into my hand, then I wouldn't have a dish to wash, right? I wouldn't be creating extra dishes for myself to do. So that's kind of what that is all about as far as high maintenance. And I feel generally like putting one more dish in the dishwasher, which is actually the dishwasher is the head dishwasher, in the grand scheme of the effort I'm willing to go to is like drops in the ocean. We're talking about putting one more dish into a machine that washes my dishes for me. This is legitimately not the definition of what high maintenance is.
Right. And that small price gets you the confidence and freedom from food obsession and ability to get dominion over impulsive eating and really know that you're the master of your own fate and be able to get in public speak if you want to.
It means I win. So yeah, it's a price worth paying. I want to win. Yes.
There you go. Sarah, how confident are you that you are never going to eat between meals again without fully preparing your snack and letting it sit for 30 minutes? And that you're always going to drink 16 ounces of water while you wait?
I am 100% confident. I'm like silly excited about this rule. I think it's really going to be effective.
I think it's going to be tremendously effective. I think it's going to be transformative.
Like I'm getting excited about the pig suffering like real soon. And that makes me sadistically happy.
Sarah, if you saw yourself transforming into a superhero with this role, which superhero would it be?
So do I have to pick like a superhero with self-control? Because they're not really known for that.
That's a good point.
Doctor Strange, maybe? I can be kind of arrogant too, but they're all kind of arrogant.
That's funny.
That's kind of what we love about them. They're so cocky, confident, and we want that for ourselves.
That was an experimental question. I didn't really know where it was going to go.
It's fun.
Okay.
But you're talking to a Marvel fanatic, so you hit a certain target audience with me.
Okay, Doctor Strange. Do you have any questions or concerns?
No.
Sarah, I think you're going to do great.
Thanks.
I think you're going to knock it out of the park. This is a no-brainer for you.
Yeah, I'm going to knock him dead.
You got this.
Yeah.
You got this. Okay, I'll see you in the groups, okay?
Okay, be well. Thanks. Bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.